Good morning, everybody. It's Jamie, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I've been sort of quiet this month online on my blog and on my social media sites because I've been struggling a lot with my depression. I've had a flare-up that's been pretty significant, and I've kind of been dealing with it inside closed doors, really not letting people on as to what I'm going through. And that's really not the point of my message. So I figured today is a good day to just discuss and to show what depression looks like on an average day. And honestly, today, I did not want to get out of my bed. I just want to sleep all day. And usually there really isn't anything that happens in my life to really cause a flare-up to occur. It's usually the same things. For me, it's just I reflect back on the choices I've made and who I am as a person, and I don't feel like I'm adequate or that I've done enough or that I'm significant enough, and I struggle with low self-esteem and I don't have a lot of confidence, and that may surprise some of you because I don't come off that way, but it's a facade that I put on as if I'm confident and I know who I am and I know what I'm doing, and a lot of the times I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants and just pretending that everything is good when a lot of the times it's not. So that's kind of been my situation these last couple of days. I spent a lot of time in bed. My sleep has been really poor, and I just find it really difficult to find anything good in life right now. And take today, for example. I had a conference call earlier this morning about a migraine briefing that I'll be a part of next month on Capitol Hill. And that's exciting, and that's something I never thought that my little blog would take me to be a part of. Be on a panel with experts and physicians and doctors who are well known in the migraine and chronic pain communities. I never expected to be amongst people like them, but I did not want to deal with this phone call today. I just did not feel like I was important enough or significant enough. Like, who am I to be a part of these people? Like, I'm nobody. And that's a strong feeling I've been having for like the past couple of days. And it's really hard to look in the mirror and feel like you're nobody and you have all these responsibilities and you just kind of want to shake them off and wish you didn't have to deal with them. So that's my situation. I should be excited, but it's just giving me tons of anxiety, which then fuels the feelings of depression. I fight with the rationale part of my brain because the irrational thoughts make sense, but the rational part of myself knows that not to be true. So I'm going back and forth all day in my head. That's mentally exhausting. That's really hard. And I don't think that's something people that don't live with a mental illness understand. Although we may seem put together on the outside, we have this internal battle going on with all different ranges of thoughts and feelings and opinions, and our brains get stuck on mistakes we've made or poor choices we have made or things we have done that may have hurt other people, and then we start to self-inflict ourselves with just negative thoughts, and we are not too kind to ourselves. And I have to be honest, I have not been very kind to myself these past few days, and I don't know when I'm gonna get out of this flare-up. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's gonna lift anytime soon, and it's affecting my work as far as my commitments and my blog and responsibilities, I just don't have the mental energy to really do anything. And it makes me feel bad. And it makes me feel bad as a mom because I don't feel like being a mom. And it's really difficult when you have depression and anxiety and they become really suffocating, and you have other people in your life that depend on you and rely on you. And you feel yourself breaking on the inside, you feel yourself fracturing, and you just want to fall apart because it's taking a tremendous amount of energy to keep yourself together. And sometimes it's just too much to try to hold it together. And when you are the glue that holds your family together, it becomes even that much more difficult to try to walk through your everyday life and make sure everybody's okay when you're just crumbling on the inside. And there have been so many times where I just wanted permission to fall apart. And I have never given or was given that permission to fall apart. And the times where it became way too much are the times where I tried to commit suicide. And that's not the answer. And all that's kind of left me with is just feelings of extreme guilt and shame, and I feel like I've let a lot of people down. I feel like a lot of people judge me now. It's easy for people to make comments about my character because of those attempts, and that's something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. And I'm not always completely comfortable around certain people because I've had experienced people make comments about, not directly to me, but to other people about what I've done. So I know that people most likely think these things and don't really say them out loud, and to know that is really difficult. That's a really big burden that I have to live with. And I try not to let it define me, but sometimes it's really hard because those are things that I have done. And it doesn't feel good. It makes me feel weak, and I don't like to feel weak. And thank goodness I'm not in that place or that space. But to be honest, those feelings do come up sometimes. And that's something I'm going to have to battle through, I think, for the rest of my life. And I hate that I have to deal with it. And I wouldn't wish depression, major depression, or severe anxiety on anybody because it's really hard. And you can't just openly say, oh, I'm dealing with extreme feelings of depression today, and I just can't function right now. But it's not acceptable to say those things, so we wind up dealing with it internally by ourselves. I don't like to burden my family because I know it makes them feel bad, and the last thing I want to do is make other people feel bad or feel like helpless in my situation because they want me to get up and go out, and I really just don't have the energy to move. I don't have the energy to get up and go brush my teeth. I don't have the energy to go and take a shower. I don't have the energy to go and put clothes on. I kind of just want to lay here and not exist, and the only way to feel like I'm not existing is to sleep. And it's horrible. It really stinks. And I have something to do this evening that I had already RSVP'd to, and I sort of want to go, and I kind of just want to go upstairs to my room in my bed and just kind of curl up in a ball and just go to sleep. And I'm kind of thinking I should just force myself to go. Maybe that might help ease the depression a little bit if I'm around other people. But a lot of times when I'm around other people, when I'm depressed, I focus on what they are doing and how accomplished they are, and how I am just a nothing, a nobody. I don't have a college degree. I don't have an income. I can't support myself. I am on disability. My husband's the breadwinner. Our finances could be better, but we're basically on a single income. My disability really doesn't do very much. I try to add income to our household with writing for publications and getting paid for them, or doing sponsored posts and getting paid for those. It's not a lot, but it's something. But I still feel inadequate, and I don't feel like a full woman because I don't see people or other women like me on a daily basis. I'm the only person or only woman who is in my situation in my daily life. So everybody else that I see have careers, and they're self-sustainable, and they could do a lot more things than I can. And when I look at myself, I feel like, well, all I've really done is just been a wife and a mother for 20 years. Not to say that that's not significant, but let's be honest, that's not something that's praised every day, or seen as a job, which it is. And doing that with a chronic illness, multiple chronic illnesses, mental illness, is hard as hell. And we don't get credit for any of that. And I certainly don't give myself credit for it, because I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And a lot of times I feel like I'm not doing the best job I could be doing. So it's really, really, really hard. And I just kind of wanted to be raw and honest about where I am, because I don't feel like a strong person at all. I rarely do. And all I really want for myself is to be okay with who I see. And I'm not. I really am not. And it's really difficult, because I want to be proud of who I am and what I've done and what's coming up in my future. But I can't seem to be happy about it, because I feel like there should have been a lot more things that I've accomplished by now. And a lot of times I feel like a failure. And the rational part of my brain knows that that's the depression most likely talking. But when I look back at my life, just the movie reel that I have in my head is confirming those feelings and those thoughts that I have. And I just want to be okay in my own skin. I don't feel okay or comfortable at all. And I'm just really tired of comparing myself to other people. I do it all the time. Whether it's my weight, everywhere I go, it seems like everybody's thinner than me, or happier than me, or more accomplished than me, is more financially stable than me, whose kids do more things than my kids do, are able to go on vacations, things like that. I'm always comparing myself to other people. And I really try not to, because all that does is hurt myself. But it becomes really, really, really hard. And I just wish that I had enough strength to pull it within myself, to get it from myself, to say that I'm okay, I'm enough. I still seek that validation from other people. Not as much as I used to, but I still do. And it would be a lot easier, and that would be a lot easier on myself, if I just believed from within myself that I'm enough and I'm doing everything that I can with what I have, and that all I've been doing is the best that I can. But it's just really difficult when you wake up in the morning and you just don't want to participate in what the day has to come for you. You just don't look forward to having to live throughout these next 24 hours or however long you're up before you go back to bed. And that's what depression is for me, is waking up in the morning and eagerly awaiting the time to go back to sleep. And every minute feels like an hour. Every second feels like an eternity until that time comes. And it sucks. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And so yeah, that's where I am today. That's where I've been for the past week, I'd say, almost a week now. I want it to go away. I don't know when it's going to go away. I have no control over when this will lift. It's not a good feeling. Today should have made me feel excited and proud about what I have coming up next month. And I just don't, at this point, the way I feel right now, I just don't want to do it, because I feel like I'm just going to fall flat on my face. And I'm going to look and sound stupid, and people are like, well, why is she here? She isn't anybody. So, I don't know. But I just felt compelled to kind of bear it all today, to show, this is what we go through. And most of the time, we deal with it internally by ourselves, because we just don't want to burden others with what we're feeling, because it just makes them feel bad. And then we feel worse for making others feel bad. So might as well just keep it to ourselves and just kind of wait for it to be over. And sometimes that's hard, because it could be a day, it could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 months, it could be a year. And it's been that long for me in the past. So luckily, it's not been something that's kind of hung in there for like days and days and days and days. A week is long enough. I really need this to lift and to pass so I can get my energy and motivation back, because there are things I need to do, and it's really hard to get my brain to muster the energy to even do simple tasks. It's really hard. Just like emailing simple things like a headshot and a bio and signing a document. Like, all that feels like running a marathon to me right now. That's what depression is for me. And I'm sure other people who live with depression and anxiety can relate to that. The most simplest tasks just give you tremendous anxiety, and you just don't want to deal with it, and you don't want to look at it, and you don't want to even act like it exists. And you just push it off and push it off. And then when you finally come out of that flare-up, you wonder, well, why didn't I just do that? It was simple. And now I have all these things piled up that I have to do. So yeah, I kind of just want to sit here and just do nothing. I don't want to think. Thinking is hurtful to myself. It's not productive. So I'm just sitting outside and trying to empty my mind of thoughts. Maybe I might get energy to do something. Maybe I'll go to this meetup later. But we'll see. But since this is Mental Health Awareness Month, I just really wanted to show what it is that depression feels like, looks like, sounds like. And it's a real thing, and people should not be judged or made to feel a certain way because of it. Because trust me, we do enough damage to ourselves with how we feel about our situations and who we are as people. So if someone does have the courage to open up to you and tell you that they're having a really difficult time getting through a really difficult episode of their depression or anxiety or whatever it is that they're struggling to deal with, please be open-minded, please be compassionate, have empathy. Do not place any judgment on them because they are doing the best that they can, and understand that they know that this isn't something they want for themselves and they really don't want to burden other people with. And sometimes you just need to sit and listen. Sometimes you don't need to say a thing. But just to let someone openly speak without fear of judgment or ridicule or being made to feel like they're weak or incapable or inadequate, because they already have enough of those feelings going on for through their own ruminations and thought processes. Just be there for them in whatever capacity they need you. So if that means giving them permission to do nothing, because a lot of times that's what we want, it's just the permission to do nothing, the permission not to make decisions, go ahead and give them that. The permission not to have to worry about homework or going to the grocery store or preparing a meal, give them that. Those little things mean a whole lot, because those little tasks bring a lot of anxiety and worry about, well, how am I going to be able to get up and do this? And I really just physically just can't move. It's painful. It hurts me mentally, physically, emotionally to think about having to do these things. So giving someone permission not to have to do those things is a tremendous amount of support you can give them. So I think that's kind of it for me right now. I feel a little bit better getting this off my chest. I really do hope this helps other people. And I hope this enlightens people out there who, have preconceived notions about what mental illness is, how it projects itself, how people perceive it, how people live their life despite it. I really hope it opens your eyes and makes you more compassionate if you felt like it's something people can control and should just get over. Because that's not something you say to a person with any other type of chronic illness. It's not fair to put people in that place of judgment. It's just not fair, because we're struggling enough as it is on our own. So be kind and take yourself out of the equation and just listen to what someone's going through, and really try to understand how brave it is for them to still put on this facade that they're okay, even though they're struggling internally and are still managing to get stuff done. So that's my biggest message. And I'd appreciate prayers if you're a person of faith, because I really could use it to help me get through this episode and to help me get the things that I need done, accomplished and complete. And if there's anybody out there watching this who is in the same boat as me, please know that I see you. You are not alone, and this too shall pass. I have to keep telling myself this, so I will tell this to you. These episodes don't last forever, although they feel like you've been in it for an eternity. You are a very strong person, as I try to tell myself I'm strong. And you are so worth doing the best for yourself in whatever capacity that is, and however that may manifest for you. So take care of yourself, as I am going to continue to try to take care of myself. And thanks for listening.